Welcome to Tenkara in Focus.
Where are we?
Well,
we're not in the studio, that's for sure.
No, it's a very good, not in Kansas anymore. It's a very good question. This episode's going to be for all you small stream Tenkara addicts out there. We're actually in Derbyshire on the Discover Tenkara Syndicate streams, which, damn it, blew on the secret. But yeah, it's basically it's a little slice of heaven for anybody who's into fishing small streams, particularly with a Tenkara rod.
Yeah, in this episode we're going to be bringing you an interview from Japan from a secret small stream addict. He's a little better known for his Honryu Tenkara, I would say.
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
Japan. And even outside of Tenkara for Ayu fishing.
Yeah.
But
100%. But yes, that's a really, really good one. Don't miss it. It's coming a bit later on. We're going to also be doing some fishing and walking and talking. The conditions today, I don't know, could be 50-50, but you know, myself and John, we're going to have a go.
It's mid-August and we're getting close to single figures and it's not stopped raining all weekend. So yeah, if we catch...
Listen, I'm always optimistic.
Yeah.
We can pull this out of the bag. But whichever way it goes, we're going to be doing some fishing today and you can come along with us and see what that experience is like. We could waste our breath talking about, oh, you guys only catch doinkers and little tiny fish and Tenkara's only good for small fish and all that sort of nonsense.
If you don't believe that, head over to our site. We'll put a link for the impatient somewhere on screen or above to our Honryu Tenkara article. The guy that's coming up features in that article. I think there's quite a respectable fish in there as well. Maybe flash a picture of that up on screen now as well.
Fish.
Yeah. So Tenkara ain't for pussies and it ain't for small streams.
But having said all that, if you are of the same sort of like fanatic persuasion, myself and John absolutely love fishing on small streams. We find that you get really up close and intimate with all the details, the fish holding features.
Every fish is like a jewel.
Yeah.
They're like songbirds. They don't, nobody complains that songbirds are small.
Yeah.
They're very, very pretty and very satisfying to catch.
So just as long as you don't only judge a trout based on what it measures on the tape, then stick around. If you don't like small fish, then this episode probably ain't for you. So, we'll see you later.
Don't forget to head over to the bottom corner down here somewhere and hit the subscribe button.
And when you do that, click on the notifications bell to the right of it. Otherwise, YouTube ain't going to tell you when there's new content out.
That way you'll find out when every new Tenkara in Focus video comes out. As this is our small stream specials for the series, let's say, Paul's put together a little sort of, let's call it an email tutorial care package of small stream Tenkara for anyone that's interested. Do you want to tell us a bit more about what people will get if they sign up to that?
Not only that, you'll actually instantly get a PDF cheat sheet that's going to get you up and running, help you hit the ground at top speed with your small stream fishing. So that's an instant download, and you just get that by subscribing with your email address. It'll arrive directly in your inbox, and then that'll be followed up, as John says, with a little care package, some nice stories, tips, insider information on Tenkara on small streams. So go ahead, sign up for that exclusive mini package right now. A hush falls on the crowd. As Senator John Pearson makes his first cast.
It's a downstream breeze, which is not very pleasant, and it's coming down off, borderline floods really. So I'm fishing all those unproductive looking edges because it's quite possible there's been fish lying in slight back eddies. But I'm not going to give it mountains of time in that.
No, I think we can motor on pretty quickly, can't we? What do you think the odds are that we're going to get the mesh wet today? I should probably mention, actually, we're both sporting. I might even just turn the GoPro on and get a little selfie. Join the selfie generation.
Yes. This is something people are going to see more of now. We've got the latest generation GoPro, which is the first.
It's not like I'm still working out to use it or anything, honestly.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah. But, so this is John's here. And I got first dibs on that one, which is a lovely piece of work. So thank you, Glenn. Much appreciated.
I'm just going to get down on one knee to give myself a bit better angle.
I'll do my best to spook the fish and make you look bad on camera.
Okay.
Is that all right?
It's all good.
It's not, well,
How-
you know, similar sort of water. Oh, that's a lovely elephant's ears feature. If you don't know what we're talking about, buy our books and read our stuff. There's a lovely bit of anchoring going on there. Do you even Tom Azuri, bro?
I even do.
My fail English. I was going to say that the height of the water is very similar to the very, very first time that we fished it, but that was a baking hot summer's day as I remember it.
These streams can be notoriously difficult when the temperature drops.
Yeah,
And as we mentioned at the start of the show, we're approaching single figures for mid-August, which is awful. So this is the water where I would expect a fish. Normally at lower levels there's a bit more water in this section, this little pocket I'm fishing now.
yeah. So there's certain parts of our streams that hold fish under all conditions, and when there is a bit more water on, like we've got today, they tend to be better again, don't they? Because it's just always good real estate. But I haven't seen a fat lot of insect activity today. So I mean,
a lot of rain and low temperatures. It's going to upset all kinds of biological clocks, isn't it?
but it's one of those days where basically you've just got to hit and move. You've got to cover a lot of ground and find that percentage of fish that are feeding.
Yeah.
There's nice bubbly little features there. You'd sort of fancy one nosing around in there somewhere. What have you got on? What's your kibari, by the way, John? I forgot to ask.
It's a very controversial one. It's got a red head and pale body, stiff hackle.
Okay.
For anyone that follows along on social media.
That wasn't a planter, honestly.
I'm sure I'll put a picture up on screen now. I might even put a picture up of one of mine. Do you remember that? I told you so.
Yeah.
We could go bigger. We could go with a different colour. But I would say that
It's just about putting it in front of a feeding fish, isn't it?
Yeah,
but I think that
what I
one
would
of the
like
ways
to
you
try
can
is
actually
something
increase, because there is
downstream.
more water on today.
So apologies to the people at home now staring at the back of us. But you are probably getting a better view of what's going on.
But there's some water here under these conditions after rain that wouldn't be appropriate for this technique under regular flow conditions. So you're really only getting the opportunity to use some of these downstream manipulations and slotting and all that sort of good stuff because you've got that current pace to work with. And that's, said it a few times, but that's a big reason for building up your armoury of these techniques anyway, so that you can call on them when you need them. I mean, correct me if you're wrong, but to my mind, to my eye, a lot of that stream there is too fast to fish dead drift.
Yep. I'm just going to, if I've walked out of shot, apologies.
I'm going to stay where I am.
But what I'd like to do, I'm sure Paul can talk us. Do you want to talk us through this while I'm fishing?
Yeah, give us chapter and verse. So, John's actually come away from the stream as he's gone up to the head of the pool. And the same water that he's dead drifted through, or he's anchored the fly statically in, he's now offering the fish a different option with a multitude of different presentation techniques, in particular different manipulations of the fly. And for some of those fish that might be in the pool, but they weren't really convinced by the fly that was drifting past, either at the full pace of the current or semi-motionless, there's just now an opportunity to make them a different offer and to even give them a little bit more confidence that, well, maybe it is a bit easier to catch that fly than I thought. So it doesn't involve changing his fly. It's something he can alter even within the same cast that he's making. So it doesn't have to be a separate cast even, he can change what that fly is representing.
Blah, blah, blah. Tenkara's only for small streams. It's not for big fish. You guys only catch little fish. That's bullshit.
Okay, you totally threw me. You could still use that and then jump and then do a massive, you know.
I might just leave this all
again.
rolling.
Maybe. That's bullshit.
Do you want me to do it again? I can do it again.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Tenkara's only for small streams. You guys only catch small fish. Tenkara's no good. Tenkara's for pussies. That's bullshit.
Right, so let's assume that you're not one of those guys, or even if you are, if you're not convinced about the fact that Tenkara is actually a massively flexible technique, you want to head on over to our Honryu Tenkara blog post on discovertenkara.com. Tenkara, yeah.
It's on screen somewhere now while we're talking.
Go there, check it out. It'll actually, if it doesn't convince you, then there's no hope for you anyway. So yeah, have a look at it now.
Back to Webber. Morris. We've been forced to have a rapid change of location. The fishing wasn't great on the syndicate streams. They're at reasonably high altitude comparatively in the Peak District.
We know well enough as well that fishing through that one pool, it soon became clear it was going to be one of those days up there. So, and then the weather changed.
Yeah, we had quite a drastic change in weather, so much so that we didn't really get a chance to film it. The camera's in the bag and it stayed there. The heavens opened and we quickly decamped to much lower altitude stream, really. It surprised me in just a few minutes of driving.
It's probably 5 degrees warmer here.
Yeah, it's...
centigrade, so real money.
Yeah, for you Americans. What can we say about this stream? It's in a sort of suburban area. It's a tributary of a very well-known urban river. It has a little bit of man-made intervention, but there's still a lot of natural sort of small stream habitat.
It's been reclaimed definitely by nature.
Yeah.
Also, because it was away from a lot of the worst of the industrial pollution in this area, it's retained a lot of its original insect populations as well.
Yeah.
So it's very rich, very diverse in insect life. Full of little wild trout, beautiful little jewels.
They're well, there's the odd big one in here, but quite a lot of small ones. And given that it's abnormally, low temperatures given the time of year, mid-August, as we mentioned, it may be tough on here, but we'll give it a go. There's a lovely pool right behind me that I fancied the look of, so I'm going to drop in first and let's see if I can get a fish out of this
You've
pool.
claimed that right, have you?
Well,
to fish first, yeah?
I didn't see anything to the contrary.
No,
in the
far be
script.
it from me. Far be it from me.
So, me first. Thank you very much. See me in the stream in just a few seconds. Try a couple of straight upstream casts first. And apologies if you can't see it. There's a deep bit right on the inside edge, right under my feet. So I'm going to try and just run one down that. There we go. Yes. We definitely wanted a bit of movement there. Moisture in that net. Try not to wrap it around the branches. Not managing so well, so I'll show you a little trick. You can use the butt of your rod to bring it to you. We'll sort that tangle out in a minute. Yeah, I'm going to go down here, if you don't know if you can follow that. You got that? Okay.
John, success. Talk us through your process, maestro. The
Smell of success. Well, it's not my finest moment in terms of the size or smoothly getting it into the net. But I did flag up it's not something I don't think I've ever shown on camera. I've shown a few people that trick with rod butt and with wading staff before. If you do find yourself in a canopy and you cannot get that fish any closer, you can't reach out to your line, you can kind of feed the rod round or use a wading stick round just to bring that line to hand. Ideally, you should never need to do that.
But at the same time, small stream fishing, you often have to improvise on the hoof, or you have those little tricks in your back pocket. It's a classic
there's
scenario.
101 little hacks that I can sort of probably come out with. But it's one of those things where until you're on stream, you don't find yourself in enough scenarios. And many times these scenarios are often impossible to film.
Yeah.
Because if it's so overgrown, you can't even see to the angler from the bank or in river or whatever. So yeah, I think that kind of fortuitous that you got to see that little small stream hack there. I think that worked out pretty well. But that leaves us with you not having had a go or caught a fish yet. So let's just...
Well, yeah, but just before we jump out to that, I mean, like you said, some of these situations, particularly on small streams, are very difficult to film. We might try our best to see what we can get in some of the more cramped situations, but we can just do our best with that. But it's worth mentioning now, small streams episode, this bit of river here that John, or the pool that John just fished, it's about as wide as it gets here, because we're just on the lip of quite a big weir that's holding the water back and actually widening the stream out.
Big for this river.
Well, yeah. I mean, it is. It's it's probably 1.5 metre sort of head loss between the two bits, which is considerable for a small stream. Yeah. So that gives you an idea of the natural width of this actual, or the true width of the stream.
And the fact that this is not impounded really.
No,
you've still got a foam line. Really speaks to the gradient that this river's falling through.
That's why there's so many weirs on it, because they used to drive grinding wheels and stuff for sharpening blades and that. So, get a local history thrown in for free.
Well, are you stalling?
No, I'm raring to go. I'm trying to stay calm.
Let's put you in then. Next shot on the river.
Just saw an actual insect hatch. Encouraging. Ooh, not a bad fish. Saw that one roll underwater. Back up again. Oh, lovely job. Quite a bluey flank on that one. Whoop, look at that one. Thank you for that, fella. Whoop. Great stuff.
So that was Paul's attempt. I would say it's a better fish, but it wasn't your first attempt.
No, I mean, we went through a couple of quite cramped pools, a couple of failed attempts, as it were. But I think one of the differences I noticed was that where we were filming before, the first two pools that I tried in quite dense shade, nothing in the way of insect activity and not really a sign of any fish nosing around.
It's been the theme of the day, hasn't it? That drop in temperature, atypical for mid-August, even approaching single figures on the higher altitude streams.
Yeah. But, I mean, here though, the canopy's a bit higher. There's, as I dropped in, I noticed there was actually a small olive mayfly hatching.
Probably see by the beautiful golden light on our faces.
So there was like a little extra, degree of maybe potential for activity compared to the real deep shade and the colder, almost autumn or winter-like conditions, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, well, I was just going to say these are the kind of situations that people often face with early season as well.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I can't tell you the number of times I'm out and when I'm guiding and I'm saying, try and find somewhere in the sun. And people think, oh, but shouldn't you be looking for shade? Well, when it's scorching hot, yes. But when you're in single figure temperatures, the water's freezing cold. The fish regulate the temperature by basically doing a bit of sunbathing in the bright water.
And it's closer to where the insects can't control the body temperature, so there's that's tied to that.
So,
the other thing, I might be telling stories here, but the pool that you fished was just below a very open patch in a shallow riffle, so there might be an extra couple of degrees warming there. That's actually feeding.
It was a little slower moving as well, so it's got that.
But that food source at the top of the riffle was a bit warmer, so there might have been a little bit more like that. So possibilities there at least. But delighted with that. Lovely, lovely, beautiful wild trout. A very blue sort of sheen to the overall kind of, buttery brown trout colours as well. So there's a beautiful, beautiful wild fish.
We did promise right at the top of the show, all those miles away and several degrees in the thermometer away. We've got an interview for you with Kobayashi-san, who's a bit of a legend in other types of Japanese fishing.
Yeah, I mean, he's more famous for Honryu fishing, the big, brawling, huge, powerful Japanese rivers, and often with big fish.
He's a tester for Gamakatsu and a
tester
famous
for Gamakatsu,
Ayu fisherman as well. But we managed to get him to do a bit of fishing with us on a very small stream, but also we sat down in the evening and he gave us a wonderful, our usual sort of standard Tenkara in focus interview.
And here's the link. He confessed to us over that his heart was really in small stream fishing, which would be a real surprise to a lot of his Japanese fan base, because this guy's got a hell of a CV in fishing, but as I say, mostly associated with big streams. But I'm sure that you'll enjoy the chat with him just as much as we did. So check out our interview with Kazunori Kobayashi.
小林和則です。で、出身は群馬県、吾妻郡東吾妻町です。
So his name is Kazunori Kobayashi. Kazunori being the first name. He's from Agatsuma County of the Gunma Prefecture.
まずね、高校生の頃、フライやってたんですね。高校生からフライ始めました。で、社会人になりました。高校卒業して。
その間ずっとフライやってたんですか？
フライ、まあそうですね。まあ4年ぐらいですかね。4年ぐらいやってて、で、フライロッドを買い替えようと思いました。で、その時、行ってた釣り具屋さんが、こういう天からっていうのがあるから、やってみないかということで、始めました。
なるほど。So he first started out Western fly fishing when he was in high school. And he kept on fishing Western style for about 4 years. And then, he finished high school and he went out and got a job. He was working then, and he earned some money, so he figured he'd go out and get a new fly rod. And went to a local tackle shop, and the tackle shop owner said, well, here's this thing called Tenkara. Why don't you give it a shot? Was how he was introduced to Tenkara. で、そこで、Tenkara座を渡されて、じゃあやってみたい。
やろうということになりました。
なるほど。最初は大変でした。
いや、もう全くこんな楽な 仕掛けの長さね、こんなフライみたいに、引っ張ったり出したり調整することなくて、決められた長さで、できると。で、立ち位置は自分で変えればいいだけなんで、で、フライやってたんで、ポイントも全部分かってたんで、で、それから始めましたね。
It was rather an easy transition from Western fly fishing to Tenkara. The gear was so much easier and simpler, more simple. He knew where the fish were from his experience in Western fly fishing, and you don't have to mend, right? And everything was just so much easier, and he just fell in love with it.
竿はね、そうですね、今、ガマカツという、会社のテンカラ竿を使ってます。調子的には73調子ですかね。
どちらかというと固めの長さ。
先調子ですね。が多いですね。
So right now he uses Gamakatsu Tenkara rods. 長さは
3段、2段マルチ。2段マルチと3段マルチの、テンカラ竿が多いですね。で、長さ的には4メーター、4.5 メーター、5メーターと3段階ですね。
So he's got a two-way zoom and also a three-way zoom rod, and they're between 4 to 5 meters, 4.5 to 5. And then he likes about 7.3 action rather towards the tip, but they are on the stiffer side though, the way Gamakatsu manufactures their rods.
ほぼテーパーラインを使ってます。で、長さは、テーパーラインで 2.5 メーターから、おおよそ12メーターとか、かなり幅があります。テーパーってより糸。寄ってる方のテーパーラインです、ね。
ナイロンのより糸でしょ。
ナイロン糸のより糸ですね。
So he uses nylon furled taper lines anywhere between 2.5 meters to 12.5. 長いですね、12.5 は。
12メーターぐらいですね。
12メーター、12 meters
およそざっくり。で、ラインシステムはもう3メーターとか 3.3 とか3メーター60とか30センチ刻みとか、1メーター刻みですね。で、その単独のテーパーラインを使ってますね。7メーターとか。
もう自分で手作りで売ってるもの。
過去に売ってたもんです。
So these are casting lines, furled lines that were sold before but have discontinued. So たくさんストックを持ってるわけですか？
あります。ベストの中もライン仕掛け巻きだらけ。
なるほど。So he actually stocked up on the furled lines before they went, before they were discontinued. So he has quite a bit of them to work with.
種類は多くはないですけど、3種類ぐらいは、3、4種類ありますね。
和式。
山岳渓流用とか、本流用とか、あとはもう完璧に沈める
ビーズヘッドとか。
ビーズヘッドタイプですね。
So he uses weighted flies, bee's head, like Honryu type, bigger flies with lots of soft hackle. So it's 3 or 4 patterns, but not just traditional Japanese fly or kibari.
そうですね。渓流であればやっぱり数を釣ってればの方のも混じりますね。で、本流はもう季節限定なんで、もう戻り系の上がってきたでかいの。
その時期の釣りですよね。
期間限定ですね。
そうですよね。
そんな感じでやってますね。
So when he fishes the mountain streams, Keiryu, when you catch a lot of fish, you're gonna end up with some decent sized fish along the way, and that's fun. He also likes to fish for sea runs, the sakura, the cherry yamame, or sakuramas we call them. And that's a very seasonal thing. It's only like a window of month to month and a half every year. So when they're coming up the big river here, he likes to target those because that's like, once a year thing.
やっぱりね、その水面に飛び出る魚のシーンですね。この醍醐味ですね。
So the image of this fish coming from the bottom to pounce on the kibari or the fly on the surface is what's the most exciting about Tenkara, he thinks. So he wishes people would enjoy Tenkara that way.
So that was Kobayashi-san, and as ever, thanks to Go for the help with translation. If you want to find out more about him, his style of Tenkara, and get maybe a little bit of a lesson from him in the future, sign up for our email care, small streams care package, shall we call it?
Yeah, we have done, so
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Paul's put together some really nice material, and you'll find out a little bit more about Kobayashi-san in there as well.
Just pop in your best email address. The link will be around wherever you're watching this video, and they'll come direct to your inbox, and you'll get a little cheat sheet as well to help you out with whatever style of fly fishing you do on small streams too.
That pretty much covers it for another episode. Wouldn't be right without finishing on thanking our patrons. Thanks for your support, guys. Couldn't do it without you.
Massive high five, yeah.
We'll be back as soon as we can get another one of these shot. Let us know what you think in the comments about the new gorilla style with the GoPro footage off the chest.
As it happens, warts and all. But listen, we better wrap it up at that because I want to get a couple more casts before we have to jump in the car. It's been a lovely short session so far, but there might be a chance for a fish or two just yet.
Before this rain catches up with you.
Indeed.
See you next time on Tenkara in Focus.
Don't forget to click on that subscribe button.
Bottom. We like bottoms. Not men's bottoms. Girls' bottoms.